lockdown, and we're in isolation here, and it's quite disappointing actually because I wanted to do podcasts with business owners and have interviews with them, so I can share their journey. Obviously, we're doing that on the Brilliant Businesses website right now, but I want to actually get businesses in here and get them talking and getting them to share their journeys with us. Obviously, as I mentioned, we've got it on the website, but we want to actually do it on a podcast, which is what I'm doing now. And I want to video it so you can actually see these people, these amazing people that have set up some great businesses, and tell us about their businesses and share their journeys with us. I keep banging on about it. Every business and every business owner has got a story and has got a journey, and I think that's what people want to hear about businesses. Of course, they want to hear about their products and services, which is really, really important. But I think the cool thing is to find out a bit about them and a bit about what makes them tick, and find out about their journey along the way as to how they set their business up, some of the troubles they've had along the way, some of their successes. Everyone's got a story of how they set their business up. Some of them are really, really entertaining, but equally they're all very, very interesting. And we've interviewed some really cool businesses along the way, from magicians to accountants, surveyors, yoga teachers, removal companies. I've got a whole list down here of different businesses we've interviewed on that you can read about on the Brilliant Businesses website. So I guess this podcast is the first one, and obviously I can't interview businesses yet, but we will do once we're through this dreadful experience which we're experiencing right now. If everyone pulls together, just as a side note, stay at home and keep the rule of the 1 meter distance, and then we will get through this a lot quicker. Anyway, so yeah, Brilliant Businesses. It's been something that I've been working on for quite some time now. I'm really passionate about it, and I really want to share these stories because there's a lot of really, really good businesses out there that perhaps have come from a corporate world, a corporate background, and they've decided to set up on their own because they feel like they can put a lot more love in it, and do it a lot better than they did when they worked in corporate. And some of them struggle to actually make themselves aware to the local communities. Here in Tunbridge Wells, we've got a lot of businesses that are perhaps in the shadows a little bit. And what we want to do with Brilliant Businesses is we want to expose them a little bit more to the local community so that people can buy local and support the local businesses in the area. That's really important right now more than any time, and that's really what we want to achieve with Brilliant Businesses. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk a little bit about how I've came to think of creating Brilliant Businesses and why I do it. As some of you know, I've got a social media business, Social Media First, had that for nearly 8 years now, and we've been servicing clients all over the world with that. And we've learned a lot along the way about what gets good response, what doesn't get good response. And through that, we've developed Brilliant Businesses, because it's almost like I feel like we should become a dependable source of content for people, especially businesses. And we're starting to do that because the content that we create for them makes it available for them to use on their social media channels and their blogs and their websites. And when I started, I'm a BNI member. It's a business networking international thing, which I'm a member of at the Tunbridge Wells Group. And when I first started this, I put that out to them and said, "Look, would you be interested in me interviewing you?" We've got 34 different business owners in our BNI group, and they've all got a story to tell. So I started off just interviewing them, and the engagement I got was actually amazing. From the first post when I put up, it was a chap called Stephen Harris, who's a painter and decorator actually, and he was painting my flat at the time. And I said, "Can I interview you? Can I record what your journey is? And can I get a picture of you?" I took a picture of him in his shorts with a paintbrush in his hand, and that first post that I shared got a lot of engagement. And Stephen, I don't think really is a social media user, And it's sort of grown from there. And I sort of knew it was working because I started to get engagement from businesses and from people that I didn't know. So, it's easy to go off and get 50 likes on a Facebook post by asking all your friends and family to go and like it. But when you start getting engagement from people that you've never heard of, you kind of think, people are actually enjoying the work that I'm doing, and that's so satisfying. So satisfying. It's really, really good. The world is such a big place, and social media really opens all that up, especially for businesses. And I really want to help businesses with that. So I think that going forward with what I'm doing now, I'm going to get lots more businesses in. We're going to create a pretty cool studio so that we can really hear people's stories. We can share it around our local area in Tunbridge Wells, and as some of you know, with brilliant businesses, I'm looking to franchise that out into the rest of the UK so that other people in towns can do this as well and share the stories and share the journeys of the business owners, because that's really what the backbone of our economy is, really, obviously small businesses. And here in Tunbridge Wells, we've got a really tight community of business owners that all support each other. So I want to just try and interview a lot more of them, make them more aware to all you guys in the local community so that we can really share the love and really support our local businesses. The world is such a big place, as I said, and the abundance of people that are out there that we can introduce the businesses to is just through thanks to social media as well, and doing things like this, which is what I continue to do. I may have repeated myself a few times there, but bear with me because this is the first time I've done this. It feels like a great time to do it now because we're in isolation and we're in lockdown, and not a lot is going on outside and with business. And I feel for everyone because it's really tough out there right now. But I think that we're being supported quite well by the government and people that that can. So keep your eyes peeled for this. I'm going to do another podcast perhaps next week, and maybe I'll start talking, sharing maybe some of the stories. If I can't get the people in here to interview and share the stories, I think I'll start just telling the stories of all the cool people that we've already interviewed, and leaving their details down so that you can go off and use them if it's something that you need. An example, I interviewed a guy who's got a waste collection company, and a few weeks back, basically a dustman. He started off his company by buying a $2,500 dust cart. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but it wasn't an extreme amount. But he now turns over £6 million. He's got dust carts all over the country, and his story was so cool. And he's just one of many of those stories that I want to share, down to the small businesses of the plumbers. If you've seen the videos we've been doing, I interviewed a plumber, Tony Field, the other day, who does copper baths, and his story was so interesting. He sold a bath to Bob Geldof, and he says in the video that someone told him that he didn't even realise or didn't even know that Bob Geldof had a bath. Anyway, so little sort of artisan business companies around like that where they've got a cool story. Removal companies, we interviewed a local removal company, Wells Transport, a chap called Tom Moore, and as soon as we put his story up and it got shared all around, I think he got 4 inquiries that night. So what we're doing is working. It's a really great way of shouting out to people, because when someone else talks about your business, it's a lot more powerful when you talk about it yourself, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell other people about other people's business, and become a vehicle to share the stories and share people's skills, so that the local people can use them. And that's what we're trying to do. So thanks for listening. I hope you're all keeping well. Stay inside, stay safe. And I look forward to another one of these soon. Thank you.